We are live. Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you all for joining the stream. I know it was a little bit impromptu, so I didn't get a chance to really plan it out. Thank you all that are joining me kind of last minute here. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about Kameha Con. We're going to be talking about that, a little bit more on the Reuben situation, and I have two special guests today. I have the amazing Lucas, and I also have Emosh from EmoshIsLive, and we'll be talking a little bit about this stuff in detail. Gentlemen, just go ahead and introduce yourselves. If you want to go ahead and start off first there, Lucas, tell everyone where they should know you from.
Sure. What's up, everyone? I am my name is Lucas. I go by the moniker The Amazing Lucas, mainly on YouTube, Instagram, working on Twitter again, working on my next account. When it's finally ready, said and done, I'll unveil the new handle. But yeah, that's me.
Pretty straightforward. EmoshIsLive. Call me whatever you want. Glad to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Of course. So we're just going to jump right into the whole Kameha Con situation. As most of you already know, Vic was reinvited to the show after initially being disinvited or uninvited. They had a change of heart. And I think Emosh is one. He has pretty close ties to this convention. You were at the first one, right, Emosh?
I was, yeah.
So, and he's been in contact with the people that run the show. So I know you'll be able to share a little bit of what you've been talking about with them. And I know there's some things you won't be able to answer. So for those of you in the chat, obviously there's going to be some questions he'll be able to answer and some that he won't be able to.
Yeah, if you see any like super chats or questions that I missed, because I'm blind. So just FYI. I guess just shoot them at me and I'll be happy to answer whatever I'm capable of answering.
Absolutely, and I'll be sure to let you know once they'll start coming in. If they start coming in, we'll see how many people we get up in here. But and the reason, like I said, I wanted Lucas on here. Lucas has been kind of following the situation as it's developed. And actually, Lucas, what are your overall thoughts on everything that's gone on with Vic, man?
I think it's crazy, man. I think it's absolutely crazy. Like I was talking to Sean Schimmel like a while ago, and his main thing is like, well, I just want the truth and all that. Like, I get that. And I get that there's allegations and whatnot. But we have to break down as far as what allegations are and what credible allegations are, and then what evidence and facts we have to back that up. But what's happened is that's all been tossed aside for the court of public opinion. And it seems like he's just been blindsided. And the thing for someone to lose work, lose pay for something that is I won't say baseless, but it hasn't been proven yet. I think that's crazy. And I think it's even more crazy for other voice actors or people to allegedly take food out of someone's mouth. Like that's what gets me. I'm like, yeah, if what he has done comes out to be true, once the lawsuit and all that, then so be it. But up until that point, I don't know how you can just treat the man as if he's guilty. I don't see that. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And he's got a pretty raw deal. I mean, and once that was out there, once people really started sticking to those allegations, it was just a domino effect after that. Being fired from two companies he was working for, losing a bunch of convention appearances. And for those of you who don't know, I mean, voice actors, they don't really get paid all that well. I mean, it's not that they get paid pennies, but in comparison to actual like on-screen actors, they do get paid significantly less. So a lot of them do, especially for their convention appearances, that's a good bulk of income for them. And once that's off the table, I mean, it just gets even harder for them. So I mean, in the case of Kameha Con, there was allegedly some stuff going on there behind the scenes in regards to these other voice actors that you had kind of briefly mentioned, not necessarily Sean Schimmel, so we won't throw his name out there, but some other ones. And I know Emosh can go into more detail as to who specifically they are, but them acting in bad faith, apparently, or allegedly, because again, we don't know this for sure, but yeah, there's pretty good authority or there's pretty good word on the behind the scenes front. This did take place, but we'll say allegedly just to cover our butts here, that they were threatening to no show because of the fact that they were considering bringing Vic back.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just threatening not to show, it's it's a domino effect, right? So you have one person who says, well, if I'm unhappy, then everybody else has to be unhappy. So you know what that means. Nobody shows up as a result of that because of their close relationship, their influence in the industry, so on and so forth. Now, from what I've been told, first of all, shout out to Kameha Con for doing the right thing, right? Because there's a lot to date, there's still a lot of pressure on them to reconsider the idea of bringing Vic back, despite them officially announcing him. Now, originally, he was supposed to be announced Tuesday of the Tuesday just passed of this week, earlier this week. Make no mistake about that. He was originally supposed to be announced then. So again, there was a lot more resistance, a lot of people just announcing just how unhappy they would be and how unfortunate it would be for the convention if Vic were to come. I can't get too specific. What I can say though, what I can confirm for you guys is that for those of you guys who had tuned into Nick Recade's live stream where he was blasting everybody and his recent live stream where he and Ty Beard, collectively admitted that the information that they have doesn't contradict one another. I can tell you that it's true. I mean, obviously if Nick and Ty said it, then you believe it. But if you guys wanted other sources of information, if you guys wanted other people to confirm it for you, by all means, I can confirm that stuff was actually happening. And it's not the only place, right? I'm not aware as to what other cons it's happening. I don't know what's being said, but you can generally believe that considering they were so comfortable to try to take advantage of a con that is still technically in its infancy. This is only Kameha Con's second year out, right? The last year, I believe it was in May. Kameha Con year one. It was an amazing experience. They learned a lot from it. There were a lot of things there that, kind of felt but for the most part, the overall experience was amazing. Like a lot of people were happy. They were looking forward to year two. And that was during a subpar anime series, by the way. Like Dragon Ball Super is an anime series. It might have been enjoyable to watch, but guess what? When you compare that to the Broly movie, not even close. So year two is, Kameha Con year two is coming around. Voice actors are being announced. Vic is announced first. Obviously, you got to get the voice actor Broly there. And in February, some allegations come out in January 15th, 16th, going into the 17th. The hashtag is created and a movement is started. And basically, February 8th, I believe, is when Kameha Con, amongst other cons, started dropping him literally like a domino effect. February 8th, Kameha Con denounces Vic Mignogna. No reason, no specific reason, nothing. Nobody who has close ties to the convention, nobody who's been openly and vocal about regarding marketing and promotion for the convention. The host, literally, you can think about anybody who has ever been vocal about Kameha Con before was suddenly quiet, right? Save a few people like panelists and stuff like that. They also passed on this idea that Vic is definitely guilty. I've heard stories. So the stories are what's legitimate because they're the ones saying it. Now what happens is that what really made this complicated was this idea that naturally the fandom didn't, believe everything that was happening. And rightfully so. And that's mainly because, well, I'm not going to sit here and believe everything you're telling me. But then what happens is Monica decides to come and wave the banner. And we're in this, we're in this shitstorm that we're in today. But in regards to the stuff that's been happening behind the scenes, I can confirm it's true. What I have been told, however, is that apparently Sabbath wasn't so much involved in it. So there's nothing in regards to Sabbath. I'm not aware of it. I don't know. I can't confirm specifically. I wasn't there in the middle of the conversation. I can't say too much. What I do know is that in regards to any other implications that were made on Nick's stream, on his streams with Ty Beard, 100%. It's not a conspiracy. This stuff was actually happening for sure.
Wow, that's crazy. What's even crazy is this. I mean, to me, it's not all that surprising because worked on as a con staffer for 6 years. So I saw and firsthand. I mean,
well,
part of the main team.
You've actually seen some things going on similar to anything else.
Well, yeah, I've seen stuff like this happen with guests where I've seen guests get canceled from shows just because maybe a more popular guest, doesn't want them there. So it's not too uncommon for something like that to happen.
Is it possible to give a recap of what? Because I know you said what wasn't true. Is it possible to give a recap to everyone of what is true that was said on the stream?
Okay, so in regards to Nick blasting Monica at Ron Toei, primarily, those are the people that were really giving this guy a hard time. So it's mainly, and in regards to his recent stream where they kind of alleged this idea of Ron Toei sending out emails or conversations, anything that was mentioned in regards to that is confirmed to be true, to my knowledge. But as far as Sabbath, I can't confirm Sabbath's involvement only because the owner didn't necessarily speak about him. I mean, at most there was conversations, but there wasn't anything, according to him, that implicated Sabbath as directly hands-on involved, to my knowledge. So I don't know, because I can't specifically say or repeat the context of the conversation. But what I can confirm is that Nick and everybody blasting Monica, that's accurate. That's for sure is accurate.
Dirty, dirty, dirty. Oh man, that's like I mean,
it's not a surprise. Once she came out with this banner, it happened to me too. You know, she was the most vehement, the most beastly and ghastly person on Twitter for that whole span of 2-3 weeks, threatening people with lawsuits. But she was threatening the wrong people. Should have been threatening Vic with them. Yeah, right. You know, so it's kind of weird. She was threatening people, and it really goes to show how she is as a person, right? So you have her claiming that tweets being directed to her she labels them as harassment, but hair pulling, getting within a physical space, your personal space, things like this aren't even worthy of being recognized as inappropriate based on her statement. Yeah. Up until she realized it was happening to her friends. So it really goes to show how far she's willing to allow alleged harassment only if it's convenient for her. What I mean by that is that, you can imply that Vic, may have had some, kind of relationship with Monica or whatever. I'm not going to go that far to confirm. I'm not confirming it. I'm just saying based on assessment. It's what you can assess. It's what you can allege based, if you're looking at it from the outside in. And then coming forward now, all of a sudden she wants to speak up because she heard it was happening to her friends. She states that it was happening in public, in front of her colleagues, in front of her friends, in front of fans, and yet nobody confirms this. And the same goes for a lot of these people who came out with these accusations, where their stories are either have been proven to have been fabricated, they're inconsistent with original claims, the times don't even match up and the dates don't even match up. And most of these people can't remember the dates, the times, or the exact sequence of events that took place. And that's usually why they recommend when things like this happen, you report them close to the time frame that they happen. You don't sit on them. You don't put them in the closet for 15 years and then 15 years later decide to say, well, so my friend, he raped me. He's my friend. I still look at him as a friend. I just want him to get help.
Stop victim blaming.
Yes. God, stop it. So it's a mess. It's a mess. And I really feel bad for conventions because it's legitimately for the fans. There's no reason why people should be acting like this. Something similar happened last year with Sean Schemmel, Peter Kalamis, where Peter Kalamis was scheduled to come to Kameha Con. Then we got an announcement by him on Twitter, a statement saying that he wasn't allowed to come anymore because of someone's influence. And he basically named Schemmel at the end of his post. P.S. I said Kameha the right way or whatever. And he already knew it was Schemmel. And then everybody went into rage. And thankfully, Kameha Con made the right decision and got both of these people to be professionals and perform at that convention. But see, it's interesting how quickly people forget. Kameha Con, they made a good decision last year, and they made another good decision now. The only difference is that there's a lot of people who don't like Vic that actually like Sean Schemmel and Peter Kalamis at the same time. That's why they weren't as blatantly obvious as to what side they were on back then last year. So it's unfortunate. It just really goes to show how disgusting these people are and why people should really consider separating the art from the artist.
No, I agree 100% with that. There's people in the chat saying, Richard Corwin saying, Kiwi Farms has an excellent timeline of the whole mess, but let me read this super chat real quick. Ty Beard's Beard says, the beard rules all. May the blood stain the sand of the arena known as the court of law, and may the hashtag MeToo social lynchings be destroyed. Cheers.
I saw him on Nick's stream. I like that name.
Yeah, that's a hilarious name. And Steve Collect says, now that the Marchy DMs have come out, it will be interesting on the live streams tonight. Oh, I didn't know about that.
The recent ones, yes.
She says, do you know about that?
Yeah. She basically what she said was that people were asking her in regards to all this stuff that's happening, and basically the highlight of her DM is that one can only hope someone will come forward. Because and what she means by that is that, God, I hope someone comes forward with an allegation, please, because we all look stupid right now. So that's the gist of it. Yeah,
that's some setup stuff, man. Lucas, and going back to Sean Schemmel for a sec, because I saw your video on that, Lucas, where you said that he had actually DM'd you. What's interesting about that, man, is that actually he DM'd somebody that I know personally as well. And I found that to be kind of interesting, because it's like the fact that he made the time to DM the person I know too, to take time out of his day to lecture, I guess. And not that I'm saying that that's what he did with you, because I know you said you had actually a constructive conversation with him where you guys actually spoke on the phone, and he kind of, you know, chilled out. And you guys, I remember in your video you were saying that you guys had met in some middle ground. You know, you had a little bit of middle ground. So I just find it interesting that people, you know, and I don't know if Sean is still saying anything about this publicly. I mean, maybe you know, Emosh, if he is or isn't. But has he contacted you anymore, Lucas? Has he hit you up? And
well, I was supposed to hit him up before. I think it was actually before March or something. We're supposed to be getting coffee and talking and stuff like that. I never got around to it because it's been crazy right now. But yeah, that was like every once in a while I'll hit him up, or he'll hit me up. It was what was it? I think we were supposed to be doing like some podcast about how like a dialogue came to be and how it should be handled. Because he was like, because I called him a beta. I was like, you a beta bitch. On Twitter when I had my account. Right? I was like, this is some, like, what type of nonsense is this? Right? And I called him that. I was like, no wonder. Like, I said some crazy stuff, wilding out. I'm like, yeah, he's not going to say anything to me. So he hits me up in my DMs like, yo, I'd like to talk to you about what makes me a beta or something like that. I was like, right? Usually someone would be like, oh, my fault. I was joking. But I was like, no, I stand by everything I say 100%. Like, I'm not going to back down. I'm like, oh, I was joking, Sean. I'm like, yeah, okay, if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. So, yeah.
This was Lucas. Like, hold on. This was Lucas. This word?
I got Sean in my right? What's good? What? Yeah, I said it. I'm that guy. What? Yeah. I was like, I'm not right. You ain't scaring me, Goku. I don't care.
Yeah.
So it just came to be like he was really defensive at first, and then slowly it was like, all right, I understand. I didn't mean to come up that way, but you have to understand from my perspective. And I was like, I understand from your perspective, and I think it was a productive talk, but I think that rarely happens nowadays, and I think that's the problem. There is no dialogue, and on top of that, there's not a lot of critical thinking that is involved. It's a lot of just really irrational, just feelings. Well, this person said that, so I believe them. Yeah, I get that. I understand that you want to believe them, and I understand why some people would probably come to the defense or try to do something on someone's behalf. Because I mean, if a friend of mine told me that this had happened to them, you would want to believe them, right? You wouldn't be like, well, yeah, you know, they're lying to me. You wouldn't think that. Your first belief, like, well, oh, that's horrible that happened. But at the same time, you know, along with that belief, there has to be a basis of, you know, facts and evidence, right? It's like, okay, I get what you're saying, but how do we prove this? Like the common saying is, it's not what you know, but what you can prove.
Exactly.
And then and about that, like about that. No, to add on to your point, exactly. And then you can pretty much finish up from there. It's if a friend tells you something happens to you, that's a one-on-one conversation. You know, and you automatically sympathize with them. You say, well, damn, bro, okay, like I'm here for you. If you need anything, let me know. But when it goes from telling one person to just, you know, going on Twitter and then that's it. Then you're gonna look at your friend like, yo, my dude, like you know, you ready to really prove this stuff? Because I'm having some doubts right now. Oh, but you're my friend. Yeah, I'm your friend, and I don't want to see you look stupid, like, you know. But that's the idea. There's a big difference when two friends talk amongst each other versus I'm making a potentially or a definitively or potentially defamatory statement, and anybody who's my friend has to back me, or that's it. I don't know you anymore. Like that's a dangerous mindset to have.
It absolutely is. But at the same time, it's like, well, what's really your option? It's like, because if I were to do that, if I were to say something and then just go on a Twitter storm, how horrible would it look for you to call me out and say, well, I don't believe you, or I don't know if all that's true, or like by default, you would be placed as the bad guy. You don't believe this person. You don't believe that. So it gives the person who's making the claim all the power in the world. And that power can get to the head, and it's just like that just leads to, you know, ultimate power leads to destruction. And I see how that can get out of control, especially when you have people who are like, yeah, you're right, and we should stand with you, especially when you get gassed up, when you got a hype team of people on Twitter who are like, yes, absolutely, yes.
Patriarchy.
It gasses you up, and you're like, well, not only did that happen, but this happened too. And this happened when I was doing this, and this happened. And some of the truth gets mixed in with some BS or some hyperbole. And then, but the thing is, all of that disappears in court. Yep. That's what people don't get. It's like, okay, you talking a lot. Maybe you should probably start deleting and archiving those tweets or something, because it's going to be brought up.
Yeah, they never expect it to go to court. They never do. They never.
Of course not. Why? And that's why people need to understand when it comes to, well, there's more than 5 people. There's more than 10 people. There's more than 30 people. People can say whatever they want to say. When it boils down to it, because you always get those people who are like, man, I'm gonna mess you up when I see you. I'm gonna do that. I'm like, people talk, and then finally when you meet them, oh hey, how are you doing?
Oh yeah.
Why you just talking trash to me like on Twitter? Oh no, man, I was just playing with you. I was just, you know. So it's the same thing. If there's no repercussions.
Oh yeah, I mean, what
you're saying, people can say anything.
It just goes to show, like, what really helped. I think what was a real big, like a really big X factor here, was that GoFundMe that Nick set up, right? Because generally, like, cost of litigation it's a lot of money, especially when you're going after multiple targets. They each have their own set amounts of work, paperwork, you know, and it's a lot of money. And speaking of which, the GoFundMe was recently updated. Now the goal is 200,000, because it's basically in an effort to go target more people, because Ty Beard said it on Nick's stream last night, where, listen, voice actors in general just simply cannot afford him. Yeah. They can't afford these kinds of litigations. True. So it's like that GoFundMe was a really big deal, mainly because it gave Vic access to at least having a fighting chance. And now that all of this stuff is happening, suddenly those 30 people is dwindling down to like 2. Yeah. You know, and it just goes to show. It just really goes to show that when people really come together, and it's not based on, like, you know, you had people on Vic's side that were asking for proof as well. It's not like they were saying we blindly believe Vic. I mean, some people were, but the problem was that Vic was so professional about all of this that it was difficult to look at him and say, you're a monster. You know, did you really do these things? But then when you see the way these people are acting, you just start to really, you know, scratch your head, and you're just like, I don't know. I would argue that I feel kind of uncomfortable being around you, you know, not around Vic, you know. So it's crazy. It definitely is.
And that's also how they silence people. And that's another thing I don't like, is that, you know, you can make most lawsuits are settled out of court, because when it comes down to it, being in court costs monies, not money. Money is what, you know, we get. I'm talking about monies, where it's, because you're thinking of the time that it costs to take off that time to go to court. You're thinking of the lawyer. You want to get a good lawyer. Yeah. So all of that adds up. So it's horrible when someone says something and slanders your name and you feel powerless.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great statement that he is, you know, he's like, I'm not letting this slide. Because how many people do let it slide? How many people do ignore it? And then eventually it comes full circle and ends up biting them in the butt. Well, why didn't you do anything when they accused you of that? I was like, well, I didn't think it'd, you know, blow up to where it is now. And before they know it, they're done. Because it's like, well, the time you had to actually, you know, sue these people for slander or libel, whatever it is, you chose not to. So thankfully, he's taking a stand. And like I said in the video I posted today, it's like, well, either he's a crazy person, because you would have to be crazy if you knew you did what they're alleging you to do, to then go to court, knowing that the information. What was that?
15 years worth of
15 years. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll bite. When anyone says anything crazy, I was like, all right, I'll bite. 15 years, okay, all right. You've been silent all this time, and then people want to say, well, there's been rumors. Okay. What do you want me to do with that? I can't put that in a sandwich and eat it. What do you want me to do with the rumor? If you're telling me there's rumors of someone sexually assaulting is what you're claiming, you did nothing? You just talked to it with another person who talked to it with another person? I'm not looking at the alleged predator. I'm looking at you. So if that's the case, if you truly believe that, then you allowed him to allegedly assault other people while you knew about it, while you could have done something. So we have a problem here.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. In the course that this has happened, the supposed 15+ years, you know, and I've talked about this before. No pictures, no really salacious pictures. In an age where everybody's got a smartphone nowadays, just about everybody. No pictures, no screenshots of any damning text, no formal complaints filed, no police reports filed, not even a story of an angry parent at a convention that might have confronted him because of how he interacted with their underage daughter. None of that. The other thing too, like, you know, people out there saying, oh, he's done stuff like make out with young girls at his booth. At his booth? I'm going to tell you.
I remember that
public?
Tweet. Yeah, I remember that tweet. I actually retweeted it, and I was like, and he actually removed it after I retweeted it, because I was like, yo, so you sat there, watched him make out with a 14-year-old and did nothing.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
No convention staff
Power to you.
Worth their weight. You know what I mean?
By the way, Sean Schemmel liked that tweet.
Oh God.
Yeah,
bro. But you know, but no convention, no convention that actually cares about their reputation would allow something like that to happen without getting involved. You know what I mean?
No, and then also it's like you have nothing. There's no picture. There's no camcorder. Hey, look at so and so making out. Like,
let's take it a step further. I was going to mention this off stream. I was like, nah, I'll save it. It's spicy. So let's take it a step further.
It's exclusive.
No emails or texts between the VAs that are allegedly assuming or accusing Vic of being a sexual predator or assailant or sexually assaulting them. You know why? Well, I got a new phone. No, it's not like that. I'm talking no emails at all, no text messages, nothing. No written letters, nothing. You know why? Because it would arguably turn out that, in fact, Vic claiming that all of his encounters were consensual would have been proven via text message or emails between these people who are accusing him of things. You know, that's why they weren't willing to turn this stuff up. It was just simply listen and believe. And it's a dangerous mindset to have. I mean, if God forbid, I go on stream now and I start accusing people of anything, guarantee, watch how quick they threaten lawsuits on me. Watch how quick. Because now they believe in doing things the right way. Now they believe in, well, hopefully they do. So if someone like me, who's just a nobody, who can't afford a lawyer, right, who wouldn't want to drop, I mean, I've spent money on lawyers before, but nothing close to this, who can't afford to, you know, hire a lawyer or something like that, or hire someone to represent me, right? Or may not know the legal system, how it works, even though I do a little bit. They'd be quick to just throw the hammer, send me a DM, email me. You might want to retract that statement. I'm in my attorney's office right now. Retract that statement or I'm suing your ass. But when it comes down to their own kind, it's either they eat each other, right? They eat their own. And on top of that, it's difficult for them to constantly have to solidify lie after lie after lie. And what I mean by that is that you have these people who are supporting you because they're your friends, and then it turns out that you're lying, and now the people that were supporting you look like shit, i.e. Sean Schemmel and company, for example. You know, about the Samantha Inouye Arte incident, for example, the fake swatting and all this other junk. So it just goes to show that, yeah, it's okay to believe your friends, but like the example that I gave you before, hey, I'll give you sympathy, dude. I'll listen to you, and I will console you. But the minute you put the spotlight on yourself, you're on your own. Because what am I supposed to do? I'm just someone you told the story to. I don't have anything to provide. And that's essentially what happened here.
Well, it puts them in a compromising position. Because it's like, yo, you be my friend. It's like, yeah, I am. But at the same time, it's like, oh, what do you want me to, like, what do you want me to do? Like you said.
Well, like, you're Goku. Just support me. You're Goku. They'll believe you. You're Goku.
Yeah. And then it becomes this mob mentality where it's like, well, if he supports him, then I support him because I like him and he's truthful and yada yada yada. And it's like, well, okay, well, but there's still no facts and evidence. I get there's a lot of feels going around. Yeah, I hear, but it's like at the same time. But I think the real pressing issue here is that this is not just like, yo, this person's an a-hole or this person, you know, beat me up. Like this is this dude's livelihood. And like you said, voice actors aren't rolling around in Lambos talking about what's up, how y'all doing. Like that's not how that works. The very, like from my experience and people I've talked to, like it's a small niche, right? And really the top % are the ones that are making that bank. So if this is your livelihood, like just imagine just everything you've trained your whole life for just done. You would have to go into a new profession.
Yeah, 20 years.
And of course, all that. But even still going to a new profession, you would still have those accusations, you being a sexual predator above your head. So when they do that background check or something, they're like, yo, we can't have you in this company. That's going to make the company look bad. So that follows you. And I don't think people really understand how much this can damage just someone's life. Forget your job, your career, like your personal interactions, like your social dynamics.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Especially starting new relationships too, all that. I mean, if he wants to get married, have kids one day, you know, I mean, that's going to be more difficult for him too, because of his profile now. And man, like in all this time, again, you know, and going back to the fact, you know, that supposedly this has been happening over so many years, and the way that people are trying to equate the interactions that they've had with them to people that have actually had truly traumatic interactions, you know, and I mentioned this, I think before, I probably mentioned this yesterday on Flash's live stream. When people do that, when they start to equate things like a kiss on the cheek or a hug to an actual traumatic, violent encounter that a woman's had, you know, they don't realize how damaging that's going to be to those kind of victims, how that trivializes what they've been through and makes it harder for them too after the fact, because then yes, you know, men are going to be less likely to believe them now too.
And it's the same thing's going on with words, where they attribute words are violent. It's like, wait, what? So if I call you a butthead, you take that as me hitting you in the face, where then they can justify, well, you said that, so I get to punch you. Like, what? How does that work? Like, where did this transition take place? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on just in the gaming community and the anime. I don't know what's going on in general, because it seems like it's taken a dark turn. I'm just like, why is this even happening? I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are activists, or people are getting their feels mixed in with their work. Like, I don't care what your political beliefs are. I don't care what you are, who you date, or any of that. Give me a good game. Give me a good, you know, DBZ, Dragon Ball Super. Just give me a good movie. That's all. What do you do on your time is your time. And I think I can separate the actor from whatever their beliefs are, whatever's going on. Like, I don't agree necessarily with everything Chris Evans says, Mark Ruffalo, RDJ. But do you think if that's going to stop me from watching Endgame, you're out of your mind? Like, that's not going to happen. So, but the moment in time that their beliefs or whatever they want, their ideology seeps into Endgame, or seeps into anime, or seeps into the video games, then I'm like, well, then that alienates people. Yeah, I'm like, just give us a good game. I don't care who's in it. And like, it's just people have just gone haywire, gone crazy. I'm just like, what? Okay, all right, okay. You just got to be quiet and just watch sometimes.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like, these are things that movies, video games, conventions. I mean, just events in general. I mean, these are things that we go to or we enjoy for the escape. It's escapism. You know, it's for us to unplug for however many hours that we're dedicating to it, to just enjoy it for what it is and not worry about what's going on outside of it. You know what I mean? That's why we enjoy these things, because of that. Like, the convention scene especially, I mean, that's something that concerns me as a longtime convention goer, how some of these conventions are changing and how they're going towards this direction of really infusing politics and social agendas into the shows. I was like, yo, when I go to this convention, when I buy a ticket for the weekend, I'm doing this because I'm trying to escape what's going on out here and enjoy what I like with a bunch of other fans that are like-minded that also like this too. I'm here to enjoy this with them for the next couple days and not worry about any of this outside of here. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Seinfeld episode with was it George Costanza, where he's like, the two worlds are colliding. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, we can't have that. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, the consumer ends up being the victim here. Like, the fans, they suffer the most. You know, especially for conventions. Like, I mean, it wasn't an issue. You know, Vic was announced. People were still applying to become panelists, for example. People were still applying to buy tickets. No, everything was fine. Allegations come out. The tickets were still in place. The panelists were still in place. Vic is announced. Oh, I'm pulling out. Don't care. Can't have this happening.
See, you know what's funny about that? about that. The people that are now like, oh well, if he's going, I'm not going to go now. Well, whoa, hold on a second here. Yeah. I thought you were a fan of so and so and so and so and so and so also. So you're telling me that now just because this one guy is there that you don't want to see, you don't want to support these other guys that you're like diehard for? What happened to them? I thought you were cool with them. I thought, don't you want to support them? Because they're going to be there too. You know what I mean? Yeah. What happened to your loyalty, your undying loyalty for them? You know,
no, it's a good thing. Honestly, it's honestly a blessing because the true colors came out. People are starting to see now that it's not just voice actors, actual content creators as well. People with influence, people who have virtue signaled for God knows how long, and they just look stupid now. Like, by all means, bye. You know, yeah. Okay, you're not going to the panel. All right, I am pay $99 to come see your bitch ass panel anyway. Like, you know, see ya. You know,
I feel like that's an abuse of power, though, to say to use that for your agenda, for your beliefs. Well, if that person comes, I'm not coming.
Yeah, and it's nothing new. That's the worst part of it.
It's been happening. It's been done before. So I'm just like, and which is why I applaud Kameha Con, because it's hard. It's hard to be that one who steps out of the herd. Especially where you have, if there's been a precedent set, right? If this person's, disinvited them, this con has removed them, this has happened, and now it's your turn. And it's like, well, what are you going to do? Everyone else has done that. It's that social pressure, and for you to be like, well, you know what? I'm gonna go a different way, a different route.
That guy, man, I feel so bad for him because, I had a conversation with him. I did a video reaching out to Kameha Con and other conventions as well. He saw it, obviously. Some people on staff saw the video, and that's ultimately what led to the conversation that I had with him. I mean, I'm acquainted with him anyway. Like, I know who he is and stuff like that, but I've never had an actual conversation with him, at least not like that. So he ended up coming out and, he told me everything straight up. And then I began to understand once. I can't really, disclose a lot of things, but once he told me some of the stuff that was going on, I was like, yo, like, you know what? Bringing Vic back is the right thing to do, but it might not be the right thing to do for you. And I know that's a weird thing to say, right? Because, it's the right thing to do for the con, but for his future business, prospects, it wouldn't be the right thing to do. That's how much pressure was on this guy. Exactly. And then to only come out a day later, and announce Vic anyway, after me being told that, after me being, made aware as to what's happening, I called him immediately. I was like, dude, I got your back. We all got your back. I promise you will get nothing but positive support. The only people crying about this shit are the people who have been openly, kick Vic supporters, who are panelists at the convention, by the way, who are still pulling out now as we speak. And the same people who weren't even planning to go to the damn convention anyway. Fuck them. It's not a big deal. They don't want to go. Yeah. All right, bye. Let's just say, theoretically speaking, Monica threatening to pull out, whatever. Bye. Tiffany Vollmer's coming. Okay. There's another Bulma coming anyway. If Vegeta wanted to pull out, okay, I got Rare Horikawa. See ya. Goku comes. Brian Drummond's coming. See ya. Bye, Sabbath. Oh, if Goku doesn't want to go, okay, Calamus is going. I have like 3 Gokus coming to this show. It's like whatever. But only one Vic. There's only one Broly coming. And that's the title character of arguably the movie that's going to put this con on the, like, it's already on the map, but, damn it, you can't sit there and tell me that the Broly movie wasn't a major part and a primary focal point in terms of marketing and promotion for arguably all of these conventions that wanted to bring Vic originally. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So for him to do the right thing, for him to actually do the right thing for the con, and then acknowledge that he's probably not doing the right thing for his future business and still bring Vic back. Can't stress it enough.
That's what you call integrity, though, right there. And the thing is, look at that for a moment too. Like the guests that are threatening to pull out for him showing up, or if you bring him, well, I'm not coming. Well, that says a lot about those guests too, because it's just like, if you're about the fans, then it shouldn't matter that he's coming. You know why? Because you could have yourself put in a place far away from him where you don't have to see him the entire weekend. Nobody's saying that you have to even interact with him the entire weekend. You go about your business, he'll go about his. You know what I mean? Do the right thing and be there for the fans that actually want to pay to come see you too.
Yeah. But people can't do that in present day. They can't do that. And what you said about the business, that is, man, people forget about this. People forget, like, yo, they want someone to stand up or take a stand, but at the same time, say so-and-so takes a stand for what's right, quote unquote, and they get destroyed. They get blacklisted. Are you going to pay their bills now? Are you going to pay for their light bill, their phone bill, their electricity? You're going to put their kids through college and whatnot? And I don't think people really understand what's at stake. I understand it's integrity, it's right thing. It's easy to say all this stuff. It's not so easy when it becomes your situation, right? It's not so easy when you're wearing the shoes. Well, it's like, well, you should take a stand. Yeah, but at the same time, like, I got a mortgage to pay. What, like,
oh yeah,
right?
That's why, dude. When I first heard he was denounced, like he wasn't coming because of the allegations, I told him specifically, dude, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. We all understand. But now, a lot of these voice actors that you're banking on to make the con money and profitable, they look like shit. You know, they look like shit. A lot of these people, they have openly disavowed fans, thrown them under the wayside. And I mean, let's be realistic here. A con like Kameha Con, these contracts have guaranteed minimums that they are guaranteed to make. So let's say 15,000. Let's say Monica, she's guaranteed to make at least 15,000 over the course of that weekend. And she's throwing that away. You know, she's willing to throw away 15 grand, $15,000 just because, well, my feelings, the patriarchy, you know, survivors, you know, and she'll use that as a marketing gimmick. She'll use that to say, I don't care about money. I care about survivors. I took a hit. So guys, help me. You guys owe me. The same fandom that she disavowed, you guys owe me now. I stood up.
Strategically genius.
It's all exactly. It's all marketing. It's all bullshit. They stand on the back of actual victims, and they get you angry. And they get you so angry so that way you go on Twitter and fight their battles for them. You know, and it's a fucking joke, man. I'm sorry for cursing, but it's a joke. You know.
No, man. It's all good. I understand completely where you come from, and that's the whole thing. Like I said, it speaks a lot to their character when, again, you know, okay, a guy that you don't like isn't coming. Get over that. Why don't you be the bigger person about it? And actually, but you know what? There's people that were buying tickets to come see you too. You know what I mean? There might be some people that are exclusively coming to see you because they like the work that you do. They like your body of work, and they just want to be able to interact with you and tell you. But now you're going to deprive them of that just because you have a personal issue with this guy coming to the show. It's just like, what happened to professionalism? You know what I mean?
Realistically, if Vic goes, they're going to make more money.
Yeah.
Like, the whole building makes money because of Vic being there, especially with all this shit happening.
Yeah. Well, that's something that I also mentioned on Flash's stream the other day too. It's just like what people don't realize about situations like this. Okay, Eric Bischoff. For those of you that are familiar with wrestling, he was the guy that was the president, executive vice president of WCW back when the Monday Night Wars was going on, and they almost put the WWE out of business. You know what I mean? There's a famous saying that he says all the time that he's been saying it since even back then, and that's controversy creates cash. And it's true. I mean, controversy will always create cash in a situation like this. Now, with Vic, of course, I don't mean it. I don't mean it so much as the negative thing. I mean it more in the sense of, okay, you have people that are for Vic, you have people that are against Vic, and then you have the people that are on the fence. If they're not sure what to think, they're not sure if any of these allegations are true, but they're not willing to commit to either side just yet. They're just like, you know what? I don't know. I mean, they say, you know, there's these women that have come out and said all this stuff, but then there's this other stuff that people are saying on this side that kind of debunks a little bit of it, but I'm still not sure. Maybe the truth is somewhere in between. So they're on the fence, but they say, you know what? I want to go to this convention and I want to witness this guy in action firsthand and see for myself if what's being said about him out in the public sphere is true or not. I want to be able to decide for myself. So they said, you know what? I'm going to buy a ticket to Kameha Con because I want to see, because that's how people are. There's this morbid curiosity sometimes with situations like this where they're just like, and not necessarily morbid curiosity, but sometimes that plays into it too, where they just want to know, and they will buy a ticket to the show to find out for themselves. So So in that case, that's where what I'm saying, where the controversy can create the cash too for those people that are undecided, where they're people that just they want to see for themselves, and they're the kind of people that are like, you know what, seeing is believing. So you know what, I'll buy a day pass to Kameha Con, or maybe I'll buy a weekend pass. I ain't doing nothing that weekend. Let's see what's up with this Vic guy. Let's see what he's about.
Then there's some people who just don't know what's going on and still think Broly's going. You know,
yeah.
This idea. I mean, I told him. I said, yo, you're going to have a Broly panel with no Broly? Are you insane?
Yeah.
You know? And obviously it wasn't his idea, but I'm saying, yo, whoever's organizing these, I even asked the host too. I mean, I never got an answer back, but I told him, yo, I mean, this idea of having a Broly panel, it's going to be hosted by Uchi Games, by the way, with no Broly. What are you thinking? You're literally asking for negative feedback. You think everybody who's sitting down in that auditorium is gonna say, "Gee, you think nobody's gonna say, where's Broly?" Nobody's gonna say, "You where the fuck Broly at? You where the fuck?" You know, it's crazy. Like, but Broly's gonna be there now. You're gonna have a Broly panel with Broly.
Yeah.
Yay! Everybody's happy. You know, but it's like I said, the fans are ultimately, they're collateral damage. They get caught in the crossfire. The biggest targets are definitely conventions. And it sucks, man. It sucks being in this guy's shoes, man. I feel so bad for him. And I can't stress enough. If you guys are watching, go follow Kameha Con on Twitter. Let them know that you support what they did. Share their tweets. Consider, if you know people that are willing to come out, purchase a day or two tickets, whatever, KamehaCon.com. Check it out. And that's the least you can do. Let them know that you support them. Even if you're not going, just let them know that, hey, thank you for making the right decision. I can't go because it's such short notice, by the way. I mean, it's literally a few weeks out. I don't expect a lot of you guys, I don't expect the fans to just drop everything just because Vic is going. And that's what's unfortunate. He was announced in September of last year. September. Wow. And then he was denounced in February. So we had all this shit going on, all this time, where things could have been done professionally and handled a lot better, and everybody would have been happy. But no, now it's so close out to the convention, people who might have wanted to see Vic may not get to see Vic now because of all this shit that's happening. And it's at the expense of the convention owner. You know, he knew what it would take for people to come into that building. Vic is definitely one of those guys, you know? But with all this stuff happening now, last minute, people have to rearrange their schedules. People have to consider, damn, now I got to cough up some money out of the blue because Vic is going. And Vic is only going to this con. He's not going to the con that's in my state or whatever, this and that. You know, so it's created this huge economic mess in the fandom to where it's like now Vic has become such a rarity. You know, he's like a shiny Pokemon. Like, you know, he's like a shiny, you know, you don't see him every day, you know. So it's bad, man. I feel bad for the con owner, especially the owners, and I feel really bad for the fans too.
Do you think that's going to change the atmosphere at the con?
I think it's set. Honestly, I think people are blowing out of proportion. Okay. So the people who are fucking it up right now are the panelists, the people that are dropping out, the people that are scheduled to have panels on this con, bitching and moaning behind the scenes. I know who you are. Okay, I'm having a Nick moment. Like, so, you know, these are the people that are ruining the con. These are the people that are changing the atmosphere, and these are the people that are the only people complaining about Vic coming back. They're the only ones. I mean, Chris Sabat was announced. What, 100 retweets, maybe 250 likes or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that.
The Vic is announced, 13,000 likes, like 3,000 retweets instantly in the span of like one day, and it's still going. You know, it just goes to show that this disastrous campaign that they've had has actually made Vic a more popular and sellable piece of merchandise.
Yeah.
And this is and that's the beauty of him being as professional as he's been, is he came out with some statements. He did what they wanted him to do. He apologized twice, goddammit. And now it just comes out, we just want him to apologize. Asshole, he said that twice, literally amongst days when you guys were accusing him. He played ball. He did what you guys wanted him to do, but it wasn't enough. But as far as how the atmosphere is going to be, I don't think it's going to be as bad as people are trying to make it seem. No. They have this bad habit of making it seem like people are going to come to the con with guns and pitchforks. You know, that the con is it's a danger zone now. That there's a safety issue. Yeah, you people are making it. You assholes are making the safety, are causing these safety concerns, just like you've always done. You've tried to accuse this guy of being a serial rapist, sexual predator, pedophile. You know, hide your kids. It's kind of
hide your wives. He's raping everybody around here.
Everybody, God, you don't. And literally, he's sitting at his table. He's sitting at a table, signing autographs. But at the same time, he's also raping girls left and right. He's also bringing all of them back to his hotel. He's having orgies. You know, he's doing all these crazy things.
He's very good with his time management.
Oh yeah, within the span of a weekend, after signing 3,000 autographs, this man is literally just smashing women left and right on the bed. Like, it's crazy. These they don't add up, and they're the people who have caused for people to have a cause for concern. It's because of them. They all act on accusation. They all act on story. And then now all of a sudden, we just want him to apologize. You know,
think that's gonna take a toll on Vic though? Like, imagine, like, I can only imagine being at some place and knowing that there's people there who don't want you there.
That's fine. I think, listen, this guy went to Bach Anime in the flesh, Bach Anime, in the midst of these allegations, stood in front of his entire audience, broke down in tears, cried, apologized. He still showed up to multiple conventions, performed. The cons did well. The cons were a success. He was the only guy acting with all this shit coming down on him, bearing down on his shoulders. He's the only guy that has said the right things, that has acted the right way, and that never resorted to this mob rule on Twitter. I would say this guy, I don't know how he did it, but he must have had an insane amount of support. And just like he said, he's overwhelmed by the amount of support that he's gotten. I don't even think he expected to get this amount of support. But if anything, I would say, despite how tired he is, you can tell that he's doing it for the fans. You can tell that he's doing it. He's saying, you know what? If you guys are going to fight for me, I'm going to give you what you guys want. If I can get to a con, I will come and I will perform. And he's one of the few voice actors that are very personal with his fan base. You know, he sits there for extra hours at a time, just signing autographs, having conversations.
No, I'm joking.
Oh, yeah. Too personal. But you know, I think it has taken a toll on him. But to see him still be able to perform, it's a beautiful thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's something that, like, when I had Ruben on, Ruben had mentioned that. He mentioned how Vic is a guy that, and you know, that he looks up to in that sense because of how he interacts with fans. Like, he's like, you know, he sets the bar for stuff like that. His fan interactions, that he's like, he has that line and he doesn't leave until everybody's been taken care of. Yeah. You know, that's just the kind of person he is. And it's crazy because of Ruben's support for him. I mean, people try to bury Ruben. You know, they came out of the woodwork to try to bury him over his support over his friend. You know, he was on. It was crazy too, man, because I didn't expect. I mean, before we went live and everything, I had discussed a lot of things with Ruben, a couple different things, and I did mention that to him. I'm like, because I know for a fact that Vic is a friend of his, so I mentioned, I was like, hey, look, you know, people that know that you guys are friends, I mean, that might come up tonight. I mean, you let me know what you want to talk about and what you don't want to talk about, and we could try to, you know, mitigate that a little bit.
Of course.
You know, because of course, you know, I want his game just came out. It's doing really well. I mean, Lucas, you did a review on it. You know, that game is like, yeah, that game is like, it's already over 2 million copies sold. Everybody loves Devil May Cry. You know, and they especially love Ruben as the voice of Dante. So I mean, he's having a lot of success right now. And the thing was, that was one of my worries with having him on too, was like, I don't want anything bad to come on him because he's having all this attention on him now with the success of Devil May Cry 5. So, but I knew it was going to come up at some point in time, and it's just like, it's not something that could be avoided. And beforehand, though, he had told me, he's like, look, man, if it comes up, it's all good. He's like, I'll talk about anything. He's like, I don't, you know, Vic's my friend. That's not a secret. He's like, I'll talk about it. He's like, I'm not worried about any of the backlash. And what's crazy is, no sooner that he went on with me, people already starting to smear him. PC Gamer picked up the story. Well, I should say PC Gamer is not one of the ones that wrote a smear. It was Eurogamer and a couple other sites. They took what he said in that interview we did completely out of context, and then they spun the narrative. Oh, he's victim blaming. He's doing this. He's doing that. And what's funny to me about that whole ordeal is, they do this to him, right? They come after him for his opinions. But yet last month, when he almost got shot to death down in Guatemala while filming his documentary, something that I would think, I mean, logically thinking or rationally thinking here, I would think that would be a more worthy news story. The fact that he almost died, filming a documentary series, I would think that sounds a little bit more dire and more newsworthy, that they would cover that. But no, the only sites, there was few sites that covered it. I know One Angry Gamer covered it, Bounding Into Comics, and some of the other sites that tend to give more of a fair shake. They covered it, but the big outlets, Newsweek didn't hit him up, and Newsweek was another one that wrote a smear article. They didn't hit him up. Eurogamer didn't hit him up. He almost died. They didn't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're not selling sex, you got to sell anger.
Yeah.
That's how it works now.
And the thing is, it was crazy to me. It's just like, man, you can see right here where their priorities are in all this. He almost dies, not a peep. But he says an opinion that they don't like. All of a sudden, now everybody wants to talk with him.
That's why he almost got shot. See, it makes sense. That's the mindset. That's the mindset.
But to show the kind of person he is, though, it's crazy. And that could have been something that they could have turned into an uplifting story. Because look at him getting shot, surviving, him and his friend not getting seriously hurt. And then at the end of all that didn't deter him from still wanting to make that documentary. He didn't say, man, I got to get out of Guatemala now because I might die. No, he stayed to finish filming for his documentary. And on top of that, he was like, you know what? I forgive the guy that shot at me. I know I'll probably never see his face. And even if I did see his face, I forgive him. I forgive him. You know what I mean? He let it go. And I'm like, that's real nice. That's a very uplifting thing to put out there. That would have been a nice story right there. But again, not a word, not a peep from the media. But
yeah, it's uplifting, but don't shoot at me, bro. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'll commend you for being nice, dude. But don't shoot, dude. Trust me, I am not that nice. Don't do it. You better hit me, because let's just keep it there. Let's just keep it there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like they try to smear him for saying, well, you know what, I stand by my friend. I don't think I'm of the opinion that that he probably didn't do these things, and that's it. But he's not
wrong. One thing I've noticed is wrong opinions can cost you everything, which is crazy. I'm like, wait, you mean if I don't think what you think, I don't have a job anymore? That's correct.
You don't have a Twitter account anymore.
So yeah, I don't have a Twitter account anymore.
Starting. Yeah,
it's
starting.
Okay.
Better be careful, buddy.
Yeah, that's just what happens. But what they don't understand by doing that, what they are creating is a group that is going to fight tooth and nail against that. They're going to be upset. It's like, well, now I'm going to go out of my way just to piss you off. Now I'm going to go out of my way just to troll you, because what you're saying is, just because I don't agree with everything you're saying, I'm a bad guy. And now it's no longer, okay, well, I don't agree with what you're saying. It's now, I don't agree with what you're saying. Let's target your business, or let's target your livelihood, or let's target your job, or your girlfriend. So it's like, whatever happened to be like, all right, let bygones be bygones. You're an idiot. Be an idiot. Just be an idiot elsewhere.
It's because the dollar bill, and what I mean by the dollar bill, it's the power of the dollar bill, is the companies and these cons and these CEOs, right? They have this mindset that if, like, they're used to getting maybe like what, 5, 10, 15, 20, hate mail, pieces of hate mail every now and then. But 100 pieces come in, that's it. Sound the alarm. They don't even ask what's happening. There's no research being done. Ty mentioned it on his stream. There's no accountability for what allowed your company to become successful anyway, right? It's all about the dollar bill. And these people threaten constantly. They're not even purchasing the product. They're not purchasing tickets to go to these cons. They're not purchasing Devil May Cry 5. They're not purchasing these games. And they're just simply saying, well, dollar bill, I'm not going to buy your game because I'm mad at you. And the companies are just like, oh God, no, we need more sales. Like, quick, fire the guy. Fuck him. He's replaceable. And that's a problem. So that's what they use. They don't even use their voice. They use the power of the dollar bill. And these guys these cons, these companies, they have to spend a little more time at least reassessing and researching and actually trying to find out what's going on. instead of just listening to a bunch of lunatics on Twitter, you know, or just loudmouths on YouTube or whatever, say whatever it is they have to say. And, you know, you end up making a bad decision based on that. You come to find out that you might be liable for, you know, for substantially bigger, larger amounts of damage because of that. You fire a guy, you drop a guy from conventions, you fire a guy from Rooster Teeth and Funimation, you ruin this man's life, literally in the span of, with a tweet, with one tweet. And just like that, you expect no backlash. You expect for nothing, at least remotely close to that, to happen to you.
But it also sets precedents, which is
yeah, exactly.
Now, if I was a voice actor and I was going to a booth, I'd be like, yeah, we don't do handshakes, no fist bumps, nothing.
Oh man,
like,
yeah.
Here's your copy, bye. Because now I have to protect myself.
Yeah,
because I see what happened to this person. I'm like, I'm not letting that to happen to me.
I would have 2 6'5" Italian bodyguards named Gino and Chino, like at all times. I'm sorry, I can't do it. You know, I actually read an article recently where it's a legit article. I thought it was a meme. I thought it was one of those meme articles, but men are actually so afraid of this movement now that they're actually having women consent to having sex on camera and saying before they have sexual encounters that I consent to having sex with such and such. And then they proceed to, you know, they make a sex tape essentially. That's how deathly afraid men are now.
Wow. That makes sense. Like but I only consented for this amount of time. He went over, so that's rape. So
yeah. So then you admit to prostitution, and it just is the whole headache now. It's like, you know,
he went a minute over the contract.
Yeah. The contract says 30 minutes. Oh, so you're a prostitute? No, I just signed a contract that said it was 30 minutes. So you're a prostitute. No, you know what? Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Let's scratch that. But it's I don't know. I mean, but at least things seem to be, you know, at least we're helping him make money. That's what matters. Like some cons are doing the right thing. Some people are doing the right thing, and he still has a chance to make money. It's just unfortunate that a lot of that goes towards his legal funds now. Yeah, it goes towards paying off this law firm, not a lawyer, but a law firm, in an attempt to target the people who have been ultimately responsible for his demise. And that's not easy. You know, I can't imagine how long this is going to go on for, how much work that has to be put into this. I mean, these are multiple targets. It's not just one lawsuit on a group of people. No, you know, small groups of people are being served as we speak, you know, and it's going to take time. And that's not, kudos to him. So,
yeah. And there's, you know, I think the tide is starting to shift a little bit too. It's still early enough in the year where we can see some big changes happen, because this, again, it's going to set a precedent for sure. I think I'm sure there's still going to be people that stand by the decision to not bring him to the show, just because, again, and I'll begrudge the cons that do that, because they're, you know, they want to try to protect their image and whatever. So it's understandable. I don't begrudge them for doing it, but it's good. The more conventions that do start to, you know, stick up for him or invite him, you know, that's going to lead to more conventions booking him too. They're going to see like, well, maybe things aren't as bad as we're being led to believe. Maybe it'll be okay to bring him. There's, you know, we had Hawaii Con was another one that booked them.
Tapelo Con, Hawaii Con, Anime Matsuri, and now Kameha Con.
So there you go. And so, I mean, hopefully that'll.
And then Bach Anime back in February.
And that's good. And hopefully that'll be, you know, things are setting in motion now to lead to more bookings from, because like I said, it's still early enough in the year. Maybe even some of these conventions that canceled his appearance will now reconsider and be like, you know what, maybe we should bring him back. Maybe we were too quick to jump on that. Maybe we should bring him back. And that's what I'm hoping comes out of that, is that they'll reconsider and bring him back.
I hope Lucas gets his Twitter account back too.
Yeah, Lucas.
I'm gonna have to create another. We all know that's not gonna happen. You're just trolling me right now. I'm on like my 8th one.
They hit us where
changing it all the time. You go back to some videos, it's this, and then it's another one, and then it's now. Now I just don't even have it up. I'm just like, nah, I'm just not. I'm working things out right now.
Yeah, man. If they can't hit your pocket, they hit your Twitter handle.
There you go.
Yeah. You said beta one too many times, mister. We're gonna show you.
It's all my hate speech. I don't know what to say.
Who you calling a beta? I'm gonna show you who's a beta. Gonna get you suspended from Twitter.
And suspended. They don't even tell you. Well, you're just suspended. That's all. Is there a period of time? No, you're just suspended. That's how that works.
Yeah. Wow. Just an indefinite suspension.
Yeah, something like that, right? Right. Well, his account wasn't banned. He was just suspended. I love how. Oh my God, the wordplay is delicious. I'm just delicious.
So they kind of like it's almost like they leave it for people. You know, they leave you hoping. It's just like, well, you could get it back someday.
Right. It's not illegal. It's just unlawful. Oh, okay. All right. Get out of here.
Oh God, it's so freaking dumb, man. I just, I'm over all this stuff. I'm over the whole outrage that people have over things. It's not what I didn't like initially. Also about how people went about it with Vic was, you know, and with convention. Like I said, while I understand from a business perspective why conventions decided to disinvite him, at the same time, I look at that, especially for smaller shows that also disinvited him. It's just like that's a bad precedent to set, though, too, to cave into a vocal minority, because now you're showing people how they can control your business, you know, just by making a stink. So that's why I'm saying, you know, hats off to Kameha Con, even though it's only their second year. I mean, and them making a decision like this, they could, like you were saying, Emish, that the owner knows could potentially affect his bottom line. But it's
he knows 100%. He knows. Yeah. It still can, and it probably will. But
yeah, it probably will to some capacity. But I don't know, man. You might be surprised because again, with decisions like that, especially, you know, controversy creates cash, man. It brings people out, man. Even to a convention, it just people, like I said, they have a morbid curiosity with things like that. That they're just like you were saying, you know, Vic is like a rarity now. He's like this mythical creature now that people want to see. And like for the people that were on the fence that weren't taken aside either way, that are just curious, they might buy just a day pass just to see, you know, just to see for themselves what he's really all about. So one could hope at least, but I guess we'll find out when it's all said and done.
But the bottom line is that it's not a gamble anyone should be forced to take. You know, that's the idea. And
no, I agree.
And it's unfortunate that he had to, you know, he had to be put in that position. He was forced to make a decision he didn't want to make. He was forced to make a decision that he completely disavowed deep down. And does it make him a Vic supporter? No. It just makes him someone who wants to have a goddamn convention be successful, who knows what it takes to run a successful convention. That's what it means. Doesn't mean anything else. Doesn't mean that he's a Vic supporter and fuck everybody else. And fuck the kids, you know, who cares? Nobody cares about your safety. No, he's not saying that, you know, it's these people are just insane. It's a bold claim to make when you target everybody at the head going down, and you say, well, they're not concerned for anybody's safety. I guess they're not concerned. You know, they don't care. They don't care about your just shut up. It's disgusting, really.
Yeah, man. But it's kudos to them for doing it, because I know it's a hard decision to make. You know, for me, it's just like that they just showed, and people could make the argument the other way too, right? It's just they're showing a lot of integrity by doing this, but people would probably from the Kickvick side would probably argue, well, you know, they made a decision of integrity before by disinviting him, and you know, okay, fine, if that's what you believe, that's fine. You know, that you have your right to that opinion. But and them saying like, oh well, they're just doing this for money now. Well, I mean, you could say it the other way. You could say it the other way around. But here's the thing: because I saw that somebody put out there and saying, oh, they're just saying that they want money. Well, you could make that argument the other way around too.
Yeah,
you could say it. You could say it with him not being there is a money. Both. You could see it both ways.
Yeah,
there's an argument to be made on the other end of that as well.
Yeah, it's not a crime to make money. It's how you make the money. It's how you make it that's questionable. But I mean, come on now. Like, you know, do any of these people really want to see me make a bank for sitting here talking shit about them? No. You know, so it's like it's the same argument applies. You know, the same goes for Lucas. The same goes for you and everybody else who's monetizing their content off of Vic's suffering and pain. You know, what? You're causing it. Like, you're a direct cause of it. You're a direct cause of his pain and suffering. I'm simply just talking about the things you have verbatimly stated on your Twitter account.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, look, I don't like the stuff that's happened either. But I mean, it'd be funny for somebody to say to me, I think that's a total non-argument too, for them to be like, oh, you're just trying to make money off of all this stuff. I'm trying to make money. Period. I mean, that's why my channel is monetized. I mean, obviously, every video I put up has ad revenue on it, regardless of what the subject is. You know, whether I get 200 views on a video or not. And it's not me saying that it's all about the money. It's just like, of course, if my channel is monetized, I'm gonna run ads on it. You know what I mean? I just am. You know, unless it's something that I feel morally that I shouldn't. Like, the only videos I think that I've never run ads on are, I made a video of after Ultimate Warrior died and after Roddy Piper died, and I didn't monetize those because I felt like, you know what, you know, obviously the whole point is not to monetize off of this. You know what I mean? I just want to talk about it. So these I won't, because I felt that would have been classless to do so. So I didn't, and they're not to this day. They're not monetized, and I don't have any plans on ever monetizing them. But even if, you know,
people pay. I mean, I don't want to say people pay. Companies pay you for you to make content, and people come to your channel to hear you speak. It's an ecosystem that's built on convenience, where fans don't have to pay you to watch you, but YouTube will. No, you know, now if you want to question, you know, ethics and morality, I'm all for that. Yeah. But just to simply demand that people aren't allowed to make money, you know, in this day and age, I mean, when it's okay to just literally destroy someone's life with a tweet, you gotta ask yourself, like, where do we draw the line here in terms of morality? Where is that ethical line drawn, really? And if there is a line drawn, why is my limit so close to my foot?
Yeah,
you know, and so far away from yours.
Well, you know what? With those people who, let's say there are some that are exploiting the situation. Once the situation is over and rectified, then what? Their channel dies. That's what happens. Because if all you have is this, then what are you going to happen when this is gone? Like, you have no backup plan. Like what's the end goal? Like, what's the end game for you? So I mean, those people are going to get what they get. They're going to eventually be seen like, well, this person's just doing this because of this and that. And the thing is with me is like, yo, I don't even talk about half of this stuff when it comes to like anime and things like that. Someone brought it to my attention. I was like, what's going on with this nonsense? And I was like, wait, how is this happening right now? How is this happening? I was like, I know Dragon Ball. I grew up with Dragon Ball Z and everything. So like, there's a certain.
He was like, "Ooh, there's spicy meatball over here. Let's talk about it." Because that's all. Because God forbid, that's all YouTubers see is dollar signs, right?
Right. And like, there comes a point in time where it's like, well, this has nothing to do with my general audience, but I'm going to do it because something needs to be said about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So I mean, I just don't get that. It just doesn't make sense. And it's even with GDC and the stuff that's going on. I'm like, yo, why would someone say this here? It's just, I'm seeing a turn for the worse. I don't know. Like, I've been a gamer since like forever. I don't really announce it like, yo, I play this, I play that. I do my reviews. I played more games than I do reviews. Because like, unless it's a really good game or unless it's a really bad game, I don't care.
Yeah.
But it's just, I mean, it's just interesting where things are going. I'm like, I don't like that, because I think everyone who either plays games or watches movies or even watches anime, whatever it is, like you said, it's an escape from what's going on. I don't want to constantly be reminded, well, this is going on, and this is like, yo, leave all that aside. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you don't have to, you know, you can't believe what you believe. I'm just saying, just can I just see two people smash it out at super high speed with one of them having blonde hair and green eyes and the other person being a monster? Like, that's all I'm saying, right? Nothing too much to ask, I don't think.
No, and that's the thing exactly. The same people that are saying, oh, they're just interested in making money off the controversy. Look, you know, I mean, I'm still going to make the content that I've always made on this channel for my fans. You know, it doesn't matter if it pertains to this or not. You know, I mean, that's not going to stop. You know, I have the freedom to talk about whatever I want to talk about, just like all of us do. And the thing is, the people that say that, oh, well, we're not benefiting from it, but the truth of the matter is they're kind of benefiting from it too. with attention. You know, whether they get their little retweets or their likes or whatever, they can still put themselves on this pedestal of moral superiority by saying, oh, well, I'm not benefiting from this, but let's continue to drag his name through the mud. Look at me, I'm a hero. You know what I mean? By pointing this out. I mean, it's so hypocritical because
it's like a humble brag. Because similar to what you said about, you know, Real, you know, opting out or whatnot, and how you were talking about, well, what about the fans that, you know, want to see, you know, this person at the con or whatever? Yep. It's the beautiful thing about that is that it's a part of nobility, because it's like, well, I understand that, but I'm taking a stand. I'm taking a stand against people and hate. Yeah. So I'm like, it's a win-win either way. Which is
she wins anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It's just like you still benefit in some way, shape, or form, whether it's you looking like a martyr for what you said or whether it's a monetary gain. There, people that say there's nothing to gain, and I saw a lot of people say that online. Well, there's nothing for me to gain by talking about this. Yes, there is. There absolutely is. There absolutely is something to gain. You know, whether it be attention, whether it be your follower base growing on Twitter, or whether people just, you know, backing you up, throwing their support behind you and saying, well, you know what, I'm with you now because you said this out publicly and I want to back you up for saying it publicly. There's always something to gain in situations like that. You know, the difference is just most people just can't immediately spot it all the time. That's it. But there's always something to gain, man. Always. I mean,
listen, if you can get famous for saying "cash me outside," how about that? Yeah, I would argue that there's something to gain.
Case in point.
Possibilities are endless.
And on that note, it was a good talk. No.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, for me personally, I gotta start getting ready to have some dinner and do a few other things with some guys and stuff like that. So
no doubt.
Thanks for the invite. I really appreciate it. It was fun. It was fun.
I appreciate you coming on, bro. Like I said, I like your perspective on stuff, and I hope we can do another one here in the near future. Just go ahead and I guess and plug your stuff, bro, before you head out.
Just EmoshIsLive. That's it. At EmoshIsLive on Twitter. Same thing for YouTube. Just support the cons. Support whatever it is you guys are currently supporting. Be civil about it. Be smart. I don't care what you say, but just be smart about it. And yeah, I'll catch you guys soon. And definitely looking forward to hopping out with you guys again. By all means, just hit me up. Let me know.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to start taking questions from the chat for anybody that wants to.
I mean, if they have questions, I'll answer some.
Yeah, if you want to stick around for just a moment, if anybody's got any questions for Emosh. Sorry, I've been kind of glancing back and forth in the chat, so sorry for any of you that have been asking questions. But we'll open up to a few questions here, and then we'll wrap up the stream, because I know Lucas he's got to go catch a movie soon here. So
catch me outside.
Yeah, so maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe wrap it up in the next 10 minutes. If you guys want to go ahead and ask some questions, either Emosh or Lucas some questions. Emosh, why no one wants smoke?
Why no one wants smoke?
Why no one wants smoke? Asks Raging. Some guy named Raging asked that.
Oh, Raging. Yeah, I know who he is. It's a friend of mine.
Oh, okay, friend of yours. And
yeah.
Somebody's saying in the chat, Mark Man says they're going after Ruben because he has a different opinion. Same thing with Vic. They gave him the boot because he voted for Trump. I don't know who Vic voted for. I can tell you right now, but Ruben definitely didn't vote for Trump.
Listen, let's talk about that. Let's just nip that in the bud real quick. If you guys actually thought in your heart of hearts that Hillary was going to do it for you, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I ain't in it.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
She costed you your election. You know that, right? Like, think about that. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, well, even if he had voted for Trump, who cares? I mean, that's his prerogative. So, I mean, I know that he didn't. I know for a fact that he didn't, but it doesn't matter. Like, stuff like that shouldn't matter so much to people. Okay, Mark Man asks, why does Lucas hate Gen Z?
Well, that's a loaded question. I'm going to say the same reason you hate it.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
That's my answer.
There you go.
Or the reason you like it.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Touche. There we go. Let's get this, Amos. Let's do this.
Somebody mentioned something. Hold on, I'm going back a little bit to one because somebody asked a question here that I thought was somebody TLJ Screwjob sent a super chat. Wasn't an issue in September when originally going. So I guess that's in reference to what you mentioned earlier, Emish, with Vic going to
Kameha Con?
going to Kameha Con. Yeah,
Vic was the first, if not one of the first voice actors announced for Kameha Con in September.
Nice.
I believe the 18th. I don't remember the exact date. I know he was announced for Kameha Con. Okay. Fast forward, the movie airs. It premieres in the States. Well, to be honest, there were some rumblings and there was some chirpings of allegations in November, if I remember correctly. Funimation also put out a statement saying that there was an internal investigation done then during the production of the movie, so on and so forth, because they were concerned for recasting Vic even then. That investigation turned out inconclusive. So you have to consider what changed from then to January 17th. What changed, or the 16th? Yeah. What changed? Nothing. The only thing that changed is that the movie was out. That's what it was. That's it. And then literally a day after the movie released in the States, you guys, you bring back the same accusations that the company that you work for claimed that the evidence or lack of evidence or whatever evidence provided was inconclusive for them to warrant a reason to fire him. And then what do they do ultimately? Funimation ends up firing him. Rooster Teeth ends up firing him. Cons end up dropping him. You guys are a joke. And you guys are going to get what's coming to you. So it's like now, then in February, Kameha Con denounces Vic's attendance at Kameha Con, despite having an active contract, and a GoFundMe's created. Some money is tallied up. So claims are debunked, proven to be fabricated, inconsistent with original claims, lies, deceit, things that don't even matter. Anti-Semitism, homophobia have nothing to do with sexual assault, by the way. But so it's like you come to find out that you start asking yourselves, well, okay, if these cons dropped them because of these allegations, what's going on? I think it's a month later, and Vic is looking pretty good right now. It seems like these people are lying. Why aren't cons reinviting him? Oh, I know why. It's the Hollywood tactic. If you're on the wrong side of the fence, you're not going to get any. You're not going to get some jobs here. So that's what it's about ultimately. Yeah.
Now somebody has said Ty Beard's beard. He had wrote to send an orphanage to Kameha Con kids 3-day passes are $15 per pass. If you figure $100 per kid, we can send 100 kids to the con. So I guess Ty's beard. Probably that's something maybe to bring up to Rekieta, since he's pretty familiar with the GoFundMe side of things. I mean, I've never messed with any of those crowdfunding sites. I mean, I have a Patreon, but that's about it.
Go to Nick with those requests.
Yeah, I think Nick would be the best person
Nick could contact Ty, and then Ty can I guess that would be the best case. Assuming that they're still in talks with the owner of Kameha Con. I'm only saying this because obviously, I can call the owner right now and ask him, but I'm, in the position that he's in right now, unless it's business oriented, I don't feel comfortable blowing up his phone with these kind of requests that may or may not happen. It's a good gesture in my opinion. It's a great gesture in my opinion, but these are things that take time and that take a collective effort and that take planning. So with that, go to Nick, see if there's anything that he can do with it.
Yeah, I think he would be the one to go. So the fake Monica Rayal asks, "How are you, Emish?"
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Oh man, those troll accounts always crack me up. That's funny. So get in a couple more questions, guys, because we got probably like about 5 more minutes or so left on the stream here before I gotta let these guys go. So get those questions. And Lucas, man, I appreciate you coming on, man, because I know it was really last minute with you. And a big shout out to Mikkel Casanova, because he's the one that put me in touch with Lucas. So I'd be remiss not to give him a shout out on here.
He's
and thank
IB
him.
Man, information broker.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Good cat. And for those of you that aren't subscribed to his channel, look up Mikkel Casanova. He does Hawaii's #1 podcast. Subscribe to his channel.
Just hit 10K.
Yep, just hit his 10K. Yep. His 10K subs. So be sure to subscribe to him. And give him some love. I recently did a podcast with him too. Let's see. Mark Mann asks, will Ruben come back someday? Well, Ruben hasn't gone anywhere, man. I mean, he just lives right now. Ruben is at present, he lives in Japan with his wife, where he's still actively working on stuff there. So he's coming to Anime Matsuri. I know that. There's another convention, though, I believe that's going to be picking him up soon, but I can't say which one it is because it's not my place to say. But be on the lookout. There's going to be some news soon of him coming to another convention here in the States. So be on the lookout for that. For those of you that are fans of Ruben, there's going to be another convention announcing him pretty soon once the ink dries on the contract. So be on the lookout for that. All right, I'm trying to see who else here. Congratulations on the 10K, Lucas. Oh, Simon Leach. He's actually talking about Mikel Casanova because you've been past 10K.
Bro, did he just say congratulations to me on 10K?
Yeah, on 10K. You've been past that, right?
Twitter followers.
Disrespect. Okay. We get.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got jokes. Okay. All right.
That's what.
Brandon Salas says, subscribe to all you guys. Love the content. Keep up the good work, guys. Appreciate that, Brandon. Let's take a couple more questions here. And when will the next live stream be? I don't know yet. I'll try to next time. I'll try to put it out a little bit further out in advance, so y'all will know. So be on the lookout. I usually tweet it out, and I usually put it on the updates here on YouTube. So would definitely love to have both of you on. If y'all are down, Emish and Lucas.
Just let me know. Depends if I'm working or what's going on at home. So,
okay. So we got one more question from Mark Man. What's up, Mark Man? What's your question? Thoughts on the THQ Nordic thing? I have no idea what you're referring to. Maybe Emish, you know what he's talking about? The THQ Nordic thing. I know THQ is a game company.
I might be, but I'm not aware. I don't think I know what he's talking about.
You aware of anything with THQ Nordic, Lucas?
Nope.
Okay. So let's see who's going to be on the next stream. I don't know yet, but once I do find out, I'll put it out there. Will we be seeing Dan Southworth in a future stream? I'm working on that. Because I have a direct contact to Dan too, aside also from Ruben, because Ruben's friends with Dan. And for those of you that don't know, Dan Southworth is the voice of Virgil from Devil May Cry 3, 4, and 5. He also did the mocap work. He's really good friends with Ruben, but he's also a former Power Ranger. He was the Quantum Ranger in Power Rangers Time Force. All right, let's see. Simon Leach asks, are any of you working on any creative content that you are able to talk about? Well, I think, Lucas, you upload daily, right?
Yeah. Almost daily. I'm trying to take Saturday and Sunday off.
So yeah, I upload when I feel like it.
Yeah, me and Emish aren't really on a schedule.
I mean, there's moments where I'll just go crazy. I'll upload every day, but then I get tired. I'm just like, oh, fuck this, you know.
It's like I'm done. I'm done. All right,
I'm tired, dude. I'm tired. Like, you know.
All right,
I still like it though. I'm definitely active in the community. It's just not on YouTube all the time. So.
Yeah. So Morat Logic asks, is it really safe to give opinions at all? I mean, in this day and age, I mean, people are trying to stop
if you're anonymous.
That, but yeah, if you're anonymous, yeah, I guess. Yeah. So we'll take maybe 2 questions here, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Let's see, Lucas, are you going to play the Resident Evil remake?
Yeah, I played it. I had to stop. Honestly, I played. I won it off of Mikel's raffle he did. I feel bad now because I'm like, I played a little bit of it. I was like, wait, I have to backtrack and go back to that room, and I'm not really good with backtracking and stuff like that. Yeah. So I was like, yo, I'm getting killed. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I can't do it. But yeah, I have played it. It seems like fun. I'll watch a playthrough of it. I was like, oh, so that's how you beat that level. Yeah, but. Yeah, I'm on Sekiro right now, and that's kicking my butt. I'm like, damn, I'm just wasting money left and right. Man, you got games I can't beat. Although I did beat Devil May Cry 5, so I was proud of myself. I was like,
there you go.
Still got it.
Got one. You know what's funny? Lucas, I don't know if you saw there was a article that some hack journalist wrote about how they wanted to be a different kind of survivor in Resident Evil 2. Did you ever read?
No,
did you ever read about that?
Oh man,
that. if you get a chance, look up the Quarterings video on it. Like this hack journalist who had never played the original Resident Evil 2 game was talking about how she wanted to be a different kind of survivor in the game, and how she was talking about like the characters in the game having white privilege. And I'm just like, yo, there's a zombie apocalypse going on in the game. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
There was never a zombie apocalypse. They'd be like, don't shoot the black zombies, only the white ones.
Yeah. And it was so ridiculous, bro. The reach was incredible, bro. Like you have to. I'll see if I can send it to you, bro.
Play for the WNBA, man, with that reach. That wingspan is just like whoa.
Yeah, I don't know if she ended up deleting the article or not, but I'll see if I can find it, man, so I can send it to you because it was when the game first came out, bro, and it was so ridiculous. It was such a reach, and it was just like, yo, you are.
It's crazy. I appreciate that courtesy laugh, Emosh, though. I do appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're good. I think on questions, not anybody asking more. I want to go.
That's not funny, but I'm gonna laugh.
I'm gonna laugh anyways.
I chuckled.
I got his back.
All right. So Lucas, tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, The Amazing Lucas, Instagram, The Amazing Lucas, Twitter. We're working on it.
For the 8th time.
For the 8th time. Twitch. I'm on Twitch. I live stream every once in a while. Twitch is The Amazing Lucas. Everything else is solid. It's just Twitter. But yeah, that's where you can find me. If you have any stories, let me know.
Yeah, and Emish, go ahead and plug your stuff.
YouTube
for the fans out there.
YouTube and Twitter. EmoshIsLive. EmoshIsLive. So EMOSH is live. That's it. At Twitter, YouTube, same thing. I'm on Instagram, but I'm not active, so don't bother with that. I'm not a fan of Instagram.
I don't mess with that. I don't take pictures and stuff. Forget that. Yeah. Well, as all of you know, you know my channel because you're here. So pretty much the information is the same all across the board and on every social media. Well, not on every social media platform. Only specifically, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. That's it. That's really all I use. It's Toy Bounty Hunters. So just be on the lookout for the next announcement of the live stream. And I'll see when I can get either of these gentlemen, if not both of them, on in the future, and we'll plan it out a little bit better. And that way we can get more people up in here. So thank you all for joining tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Thank you to Lucas and Emish for being here.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, man. Of course, man. It was a blast. And thank you to all of you that have been watching, that asked your questions, that gave super chats. You guys that gave the super chats, you all are the stream daddies. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And until next time, hey, you know how it goes. The hunt continues, and see you on the next one.